All right, the third and final thing we're going to learn with 1 point perspective is actually going to be how to draw. We're going to do a hallway today, but you could apply this to a room or like the inside of a dollhouse or anything like that. Anything like you're looking into a box. So to do this, we're actually not going to start with a horizon line like we have with the other ones. We're going to start with an X. So go ahead, take your ruler, line it up with this half of your paper, top corner to bottom corner, and draw a diagonal. Same thing over here, top corner to bottom corner, and draw a diagonal. And right where these two lines meet in the middle of the X, that is where your vanishing point is going to be. Now, just like, I don't know why I said that, not like last time, we are actually going to create a box right here that is going to be the end of your hallway or room or whatever, and then I'll kind of explain where the horizon line is from there. So you can use your ruler. The thing is, you have to make sure your lines are parallel to the sides of your paper. You don't want to draw kind of like a wonky diagonal line like this, because that's not going to work, and it's going to make your hall look like it's in like a fun house or something. So you can use your ruler, and we're going to draw kind of a small box. I'm going to start it about that tall. Go across. The corners of your box should be on this diagonal line. And finally, we'll connect these guys down here. Now, once you get your box right here, you could go ahead and erase those lines. You want to keep your vanishing point in the middle. Don't erase your vanishing point. But erase those lines. And now, kind of takes a little bit of imagination, but you have a ceiling, two walls, a floor, and the very end of either your hallway or your room or whatever you're trying to do. Now, if you were to draw doors right here, or a window or something, your horizon line would be right where this vanishing point is, but we actually don't need that for this because you think there's no horizon inside your house, there's just your house. So let's start adding things to our hallway that makes sense. Let's start with the floor because that's the easiest. Your lines, we're going to do a tile floor. If you wanted to do like a wooden floor, you would just draw your straight lines backwards. I guess if you had carpet, you wouldn't have to worry about this, but if you wanted to draw like a rug on the floor, any of the lines that go straight back into space are going to go towards your horizon line. So we're going to draw the rows of tiles, and then I'll show you how to section them up a little bit. So line up your ruler with your horizon line, with your vanishing point. And we're not going to draw it all the way back to the vanishing point. We're only going to draw it until it meets this back wall right here. Guess I could zoom in a little bit. There we go. All right, once again, line it up with your vanishing point right here. We're going to draw it until it gets to this back wall. Keep doing that. You want to keep your lines pretty evenly spaced. That's what's going to make it look more like tile. So just keep going across until you fill up your whole floor with lines. Now once again, if you wanted to do a hardwood floor, you could just do kind of like varying lines kind of like this, and it would look like the planks of a hardwood floor. But we're going to go ahead, we're just going to draw a school hallway for this. So school hallways have tiles, so we're going to use that. Now just like we did with the sidewalk blocks on the first perspective video, the ones that are closer to you are going to be bigger, and then they're going to get smaller the further away they go down the hallway. So these closest to us, we're going to make them pretty big. And then the next row, going to be pretty similar. They can be maybe a little bit skinnier. The next row is skinnier and skinnier. And your tiles should be smaller and smaller the more they move away. And there you have floor tiles. Let's do some windows on the wall over here. Now we did windows on some of your buildings in the first video. They're going to be similar here. The tops and the bottoms of your windows are the things that go down the hall and away from you. So the tops and the bottoms are going to go towards your vanishing point. All right, so let's do some lockers. Just like the windows in the first part, or the first perspective video that we did, remember the tops and the bottoms of the windows went to the vanishing point? Well, the tops and the bottoms of the lockers are going to go to the vanishing point as well. The nice thing is the lockers go all the way to the ground, so we actually don't have to draw the bottom of them because the floor right here, the edge of the floor, is going to be the bottoms. The tops, we're just going to scoot it down from this top edge a little bit. I'm going to put it about right here. We're going to draw a line. I'm going to scoot just a little bit to this side of the wall right here. I'm going to draw a line that goes just almost to the edge, but I'm going to leave, oops, it's off the screen. I'm going to leave a little space right here and a little space right here. All right, so we have the top going to the vanishing point and the bottom going to the vanishing point. And now all the lines that divide the lockers, those are just going to be straight up and down. They're going to be parallel with the side of your paper and parallel with the edge of your wall right here. So let's draw the last edge of this last locker right here. We'll draw the very, very edge of this locker right here. Now realistically, you could have this going like off the side of your paper. I just didn't want to draw that many lockers. So we're just going to draw like, I don't know, 3, 4. Remember the lockers closer to you are going to be bigger. So we're going to make the first one probably about this wide. Second one's going to be a little bit skinnier, just a little bit. Yeah, I think we can fit 4 in here. So you notice this last one is the skinniest. Now the tops of your lockers, I think there's like a metal bar, not a metal bar, but like a metal frame. So we can draw that frame. I'm going to erase these lines a little. Lockers have those vents that are at the top and bottom so that air can circulate in them. To do those vents, they're all going to be on the same line because they're all equal to each other. So what we're going to do is actually line it up with your vanishing point. Let me flip my ruler around. Line it up with your vanishing point. Kind of decide where you want the top of those vents to be. And you'll draw them all on the same line, just putting breaks in between so that they're dashes. And then if you scoot your ruler down just a little bit more, you can draw the second row of lines. Scoot it down a little bit more. I don't know how many vents are on a locker, but I'm just going to do 3. If you were to draw the handles, same thing. The tops of the handles are all going to be on the same vanishing point line. So I'm just going to put a little dash. I don't remember what side. I think they're on the left side. It's been a long time since I've opened a high school locker. But I'm going to draw a little dash where the tops are. And then I'm going to draw a dash where the bottoms are. And then you can turn that into whatever the handles of a locker looks like. I'm going to say they look like this because I don't really know. And if you wanted to do a lock, you know, they'd roughly be kind of like that. And then I'm almost certain there's vents at the bottom too. So let's draw some vents at the bottom. I'm going to start with the very most bottom ones. And then I'm just going to move up just like we did last time. Now these may look like super slanted lines to begin with, but trust me, whenever you pull your ruler away and you look at it, they're going to make sense. It's going to look like all these lines are pointing down the hallway. And voila, lockers. Now if you wanted to, you know how people put sticky notes on their friends' lockers sometimes? The top of the sticky note goes towards the vanishing point. The bottom of the sticky note goes towards the vanishing point. Then the edges go straight up and down. And then you could draw like a little smiley face or something. If you wanted to draw, sometimes people put like those decals for like if a basketball player is at this locker, stuff like that. You could have fun. Customize it, make it whatever you want. One thing that I forgot is I'm almost certain at the bottom there's also, I think like the strip just like there is at the top for the frame of the locker. So I'm going to go ahead and add, oops, I forgot on the last one. I'm going to go ahead and add that because the bottoms just looked a little off. There we go. And of course you can shade things in or use color pencils, whatever you want to. Now over here we're going to draw a door on this wall, and then I'll also show you how to make it look like a hallway is going perpendicular to this one. So let's start with the door. The top of the door, it's going to go towards your vanishing point. So line it up with however tall you want it to be. I'm going to have it roughly this tall. And I'm only going to draw it as wide as the door is. And the bottom, remember you don't have to draw the bottom because it goes all the way down to the floor right here. So line up the edges of your line that you just drew with the bottom and make sure you're drawing it parallel to the side of your paper right here. It has to be going straight up and down. You drew just a skinny little door. If you wanted to put a window on it, like if you look at my door to my classroom, I know that there's kind of a rectangle, a skinny rectangle window. The top of the window goes to the vanishing point, the bottom of the window goes to the vanishing point, and then the edges go straight up and down. You could do like a doorknob. I don't have anything on my door right now, but if I did, you could draw it. There's also door frames, so if you wanted to do that, you would just have to draw just like a little skinny line that goes around it. I'm just going to freehand it real quick because I'm not too worried that it looks beautiful. So on and so forth. Now to do a hallway, you do the same thing that you did with the door. So the bottom we don't have to draw because we've already drawn that right here. The top of it, you just have to line it up with the vanishing point. I'm going to make my hallway just a little bit taller than my door. I'm going to draw how wide I want it to be. And then draw your edges going straight down to the floor. Now, do you remember with our boxes, we drew a couple lines to make it look like there was a space in between, because right now this just looks like a second door. Well, to make that space, you're actually going to go from this corner right here and this corner right here, and we're going to draw horizontal lines that go straight back. So they have to be, like I said, parallel with the bottom of this and the top of this. You're going to draw a horizontal line that goes all the way across right there. Same thing with this right here, a horizontal line that goes straight back until you hit the edge of the hallway. Now, if you were to put a little bit of shadow in here, like where the light isn't, you'll see that's the ceiling, the roof of the hallway, and this is the floor of the hallway. So if you wanted to, you could actually continue your tiles into the hallway, and then your lines would still go into the vanishing point. I just kind of like roughly eyeballed that, but you can actually use your ruler to figure it out. And now you have multiple rooms in your hallway. All right, we got 2 more sides right here. Let's go ahead and draw the doors. We're gonna make like a set of double doors or something here. Or if you wanted to, you could draw like the big American flag that's at the end of the hallway, at the end of the main hallway in the high school. Whatever you do is fine. Just make sure you don't erase your vanishing point until the very, very end. Now, since this wall right here is just a flat wall, your lines you're just going to draw like normal. And what I mean by like normal is they're just going to go straight up and down and yada yada. So I'm going to do like a set of double doors. So the edges of my doors are just going to go straight up. Top of my door is just going to go straight over. I'm going to make like a little door frame real quick. And then the line that separates the two, that actually makes it 2 doors. It's right there. So you could put like 2 handles. Actually, I think the handles are like bar handles. You could put 2 windows if you wanted to, yada, yada, yada. Like I said, this back wall right here, you just draw like normal. All the lines are straight. None of them go back to the vanishing point. And then finally the ceiling. Now you can do it a whole bunch of different ways. If you want to draw the tiles in the ceiling, like the ones that I have in my classroom, just like how you did with the floor down here, the lines of them would go down to your vanishing point, and then you would just draw the ones that are up here closest to you bigger, and in the down here in the middle smaller because they're further away. I'm just going to do one row of lights just to kind of show you guys how to do lights, and then we'll call it a day. So the edges of the lights, because they're going to go back in space, they go to your vanishing point. And then I'm actually just going to draw the curves, because you know the lights, they have those plastic covers that kind of curve a little bit. So this light down here, that's the furthest away. It's going to be the smallest. And then this one closer to us, just going to be bigger. And then this one goes off the side of the paper. And then once you start shading things in, there would be like light coming from here. If you don't want to worry about the lights, like I said, you could just do ceiling tiles just like you would do floor tiles. So if you draw a hallway, I recommend the more like small details that you put in your picture, the kind of more realistic it'll look. Like you can draw a little exit sign. You could draw, instead of having doors on the walls, you could have bulletin boards, and then you could draw kind of like papers and stuff that are tacked onto the bulletin boards. Maybe like in front of someone's locker, you could draw like they left their book bag in front of their locker. Wow, that was a really fast book bag. And they have like pockets on the front, don't they? Gosh, what else could we do? Maybe you draw someone kind of like peeking out and like waving at you. Kind of silly, but you get the idea. The more details that you put in your drawing, the more it's going to look like a drawing and less just like an analytical survey of like a hallway. So once again, if you have any questions about what we did in this video, email me, yada, yada, yada. Same thing that's been in the first 2 videos. Once you finish your hallway, you can start to add like a little bit of value to it if you want to, like if you have time left in class. You could add color, you could add value, whatever you want to do. But once you're done with it, go ahead, take a picture. You're going to turn it in on Schoology to the spot that says 1 Point Perspective Part 3, because this is the 3rd drawing that we've done with perspective. All right, if you have questions, let me know, and have a good day.